Don't you think this is starting to wear on me? You've been raining down like hell. I'm weak. I have tried to give you my soul, but you can't love something you own. It's too late to repair what we made. What can I do? Time flashed by and I woke up on the other side of the...
G'day everybody, I'm Anna. This is my channel, You Got Me in Stitches. Welcome. Hope everybody has had a really good week. And today, yay, it is a makes video. Little bit of a mini bumper makes video. So let's see what I have been sewing. I have 5 separate patterns. So these are those here. And yeah, couple printed patterns and the others are PDFs. First up is the Ogden Kerry. I know, right? I'm probably one of the few left that has not actually made this up. However, I have now since made it. Yay! So I'm in the Ogden Kerry Club now. And this is because my lovely friend Karen from So Little Time very kindly gifted me this pattern. So thank you so much again, Karen. And yeah, so PDF and traced it out. And you guys know I'm not a PDF girl. And so I always have to have help when printing PDF out. I don't have a printer, I don't have anything like that, no computers, no fancy fandangle things, so I have to get somebody else to do it. As you guys already know that anyway. Okay, so I have, how many Ogden Kerrys here? I kind of went a little bit Ogden mad, I think. And yeah, I have 3. So we have the Cobra Corsage fabric, then we have this fabric from Sew Over It, and some other fabric with these beautiful birds on, and these fabrics, definitely 2 of them I picked up at sewing kind of events, and not entirely sure where I got the bird fabric from. Maybe Fabricland, not too sure, or different sewing store. Anyway, we'll not go too much into the Ogden, A, because it is a basic kind of little staple that you can have in your closet. Pretty easy, straightforward to sew up. Front piece, back piece, and little lining piece. For me, because I'm tall, I extended the lining piece, or otherwise the line would come up just under the bust area, and yeah, it's not a great look at the best of times. And I made the size 12. Now originally I went for the 12 because I kind of am a little bit broad shouldered and kind of wide in the bust area. Does that make sense? And even though my lady lump's a little bit small, but anyway, yeah, I've now since graded down to a 10, and yeah, like I said, straightforward. And yeah, I'll show you guys these in a little bit more of detail. Righto, starting off with the strips, they are 1/4 inch thickness, and then from the strips it comes down into this very gentle V, and yeah, lovely drapey fabric, viscose that I used. And yeah, like I said, it's just 1 front piece, 1 back piece. I'll flip it inside out and you can see the lining there. So I was originally going to do a full lining, but as you can see, I just extended the half lining, just made it a few inches a little bit longer, so then it came down past the bust area much more comfortably. And then along the hem I just doubled it over and ran a regular straight stitch length, and all I did for the raw edges throughout, I just serged. And now showing you guys the second one. Beautiful lilac fabric. Probably most of you guys are familiar with this. So exactly the same throughout, double folded the hem, serged throughout. We'll show you the inside. Okay, so starting from the strips again, they were straightforward to install, and just coming down, I folded this kind of just quarter in on itself so you guys can see the serging. So that's on the hem of the lining, and it is rather the side seam. And finally the third one in this cobra corsage fabric, and you can get a couple different colorways. I opted to go for this one, and this was from a sewing event, and it was from Sew La Di Da. Yeah, Caroline at Sew La Di Da. I didn't actually get to see Caroline that day. I have met Caroline and she's lovely, and yeah, they had a little bit left, so I managed to pick me up the last piece that was left, which I think it was just a smidge over 1 yard, and exactly the same as the previous two. Just show you guys the inside, and I think next time when I make the Ogdens, I will more than likely do French seams. Next up are the Heyday dungarees, and I originally saw these worn on Jess from So What If I Sew, and she looked absolutely amazing. Well, she looks amazing anyway in everything that she makes, creates and wears. So this is the pattern here, and yeah, Waves and Wiles. I believe they changed their name. I believe it was made by Jack's mum, so a lady recently told me. Don't quote me on that, I could be mistaken, but I believe it kind of does sound familiar. Anyway, that is the pattern PDF, and I made 2 of these. So these are those here. So yeah, in a kind of a happy green and purple colour, and both 100% cotton fabrics, and wanted to kind of go through my fabric collection. And although everything is still kind of in boxes and neatly tidied and put away, I kind of had to have a bit of rummage through and find these. I mean, it's like with everybody, we all know that what fabrics we have, and where I kind of recently gone through them a few times, because obviously I was doing a little bit of a de-stitch, I kind of refreshed my memory as to where everything was anyway and what I had. It's kind of good to do that every now and then, so then you know what you have. And also sometimes we have fabrics and we look at them and maybe we don't have the same relationship with that anymore, and kind of you just want to pass it on. So again, flip the camera around, show you guys these a little bit more in detail, and yeah, really good sew, really comfortable, and yeah, happy with these. Righto, starting off with the straps on these, and they come out as finished 1 inch width, and they are quite long straps, and which is great because you can tie them to the desired length if you like. And yeah, I will flip the camera around a little bit closer and show you about the amendment that I made on the bib part. So following down from there, it has a little pouch pocket there, and following down a little bit further, it has 2 pockets. So all these pockets, you can use them, and yeah, just makes a little bit of an extra addition there. And yeah, just following down, it's kind of self-explanatory. So just two leg pants there. Righto, so this is the front, but looking at the front from the inside. And yes, I know I never change my serger thread, so it is white thread. So along the kind of, it's not necessarily arm side, but kind of the scoop, which goes the relaxed fit under the arms around the waist, that you just serge and then fold over and stitch. Now if you noticed, it's kind of just 2 long pattern pieces for the front and back. So yeah, there's no waistband or anything like that. And then yeah, just following down, you can see just the length. I have made quite a few alterations to this, which I will get to shortly. Just showing you guys the back, because also it has 2 pockets on the back as well. Not very desirably looking, kind of just hanging on the hanger. It is a relaxed fit, and maybe just looking at this pattern as is like this as opposed to on a human body, obviously it's giving a little bit of a different look. So you'll be able to see in the photos how it is worn on a human as opposed to just dangling from a hanger. Alright, so starting at the bib top here, on the pattern what you would do, you would actually fold that down and these loops would actually come down and go under, and then you would stitch. Because I've added quite a lot of length to this pattern, I actually made a little facing and put that on, and then these loops actually would then get sandwiched inside, hope you guys can see, and then I've added an inch to the height of the bib. Also doing construction on this, because the purple was the first pair I made, I should have ideally serged those raw edges. I'm not sure if the pattern actually says that or not. Anyway, on the green ones you will see that I did do that, and if I can find the photos, I'll insert those as well for you. So yeah, so I added an inch by keeping the length of the bib so you're not losing it when you're folding it, because I'm not folding it because I'm using a little facing there. And then extra length I added 1.5 inch to the waist area, 2 inches to the calf area, and then on the hem I think it was another 2 inches, because bear in mind you would fold that up. I think I in total took an inch off, so half and then half. For the back of the bib I did exactly the same thing. I left the pattern as is instead of folding, and then just created myself a little facing, so then the straps then go and get sandwiched in between there. While I have everything flat lay, now moving on to the green one, so I might as well show you guys the inside of the green pair now. Clearly you can see that I have serged those raw edges on the hoops, did exactly the same. Created a facing there, serged along there. You can see also it's a lot more clean and tidy, and also the back I've just folded that, so just bring that down and you can see that it has been sandwiched in there. Righto, so these green pair are exactly the same as the purple pair. Also to mention, the strips I used iron-on in a facing, kind of a lightweight, because on the purple ones I used kind of the same weight as the weight of the cotton fabric, and they were a little bit too stiff, as opposed to these ones are a lot more malleable, and I prefer that. And especially when you're tying, if something's a little bit more rigidity in it, it's a little bit more tricky to kind of tie. But again, it's personal choice. So yeah, I use a lighter weight inner facing on these straps inside. So yeah, pretty much exactly the same. Little pouch pocket there, front pockets, and then just down to the ankles. And like I say, double folded the hem after serging, and then regular stitch length just to create that hem. And just so you guys can see the back. So the size, originally I opted to go for a size small, and I did just grade out to a medium on the hips. So yeah, it's just a little bit snug for my wider hips for the sizing that they had. Next up is the Audrey by So Over It, and Lisa did this pattern for free, and for I think International Women's Day. Yeah, it took a while, so I kept saying to my friend to check out and see, because I think it crashed at one point, her website, I don't know. All I know now, finally I have it, and I've been after this pattern for a bunch of time, and yeah, it kind of just has that little bit of vintage vibe to it. It's the same with Heyday dungarees, it's kind of got that 1940s vibe, and I really like that. So yeah, so this came in PDF, and obviously I've traced it out. Now I did make a size 12, and since then I have graded down to a 10. Like with the Ogden Kimmy, I was really excited to have the Audrey, and did I make 1, 2? No, I made a little bit more than that. I've actually made 4. Look guys, there we go. 4 in kind of very happy rainbow colours. This is the first out of the 4 Audreys that I made. The fabric is from Andrea Beyond the Pink Door, of course. And yeah, initially I did not watch Andrea's sew along for this top because I kind of knew how to make it anyway. I kind of just quickly looked at the part where she amended the neckband, which I did do, and unfortunately not very successfully on this one. As you can see there, I have a little bit of a sticky uppy kind of thing going on there, and not entirely sure why that is doing it. And yeah, once you kind of get your head around how to install the neckband, it is pretty straightforward. It's a little bit fiddly kind of in the point areas. Once you kind of overcome the finagling of the points, then yeah, it's a very straightforward make. I opted to go for the knot tie as opposed to the bow tie. I kind of thought it might be a little bit more bulky. But yeah, lovely fabric to wear. I will flip it around. There we go. So this is now just the back, and I made short sleeves. Well, kind of not short, kind of midway, just to the elbow, maybe a little bit higher than the elbow. Okay, so this is the front, but looking at it from the inside, and I used a zigzag stitch to sew it all together, followed by my serger. So I went all over the zigzag stitches with the serger just to kind of like have that little bit of extra security and reinforce. Flipped it over twice along the hem and did the zigzag stitch all the way along there. Also the same with the hem on the sleeves. Come a little bit closer, there you go, you can see the zigzag stitch there. So makes for a clean finish, and yeah, coming a bit closer for you so you can see the serging. I think you guys might need sunglasses for this, and yeah, beautiful happy colours, kind of like the rainbow. And this is the second one that I made, and you guys already had a sneak peek of this anyway on Friday Sews, and I played around with the direction of the stripes, and I thought I'd mix it up a little bit and yeah, make everybody's eyes go a little bit wibbly wobbly. I think on this one I lengthened the sleeves just a little bit, and I kind of nailed it with the neckband on this. So yeah, no bumpy bit sticking up, and yeah, really happy with the knot and creating the points there both on the ends. Yeah, so overall happy with how this came out, happy that I played around with the stripes and wanted to kind of have them going in different directions. So yeah, and there you go, you can see on the arm there, stripes going one direction whilst the stripes on this side are going the other direction. So if I just flip that round for you guys, and then you can see the back, and I did exactly the same there. I just played around with the stripes. So I think it's fun. I mean, I know it's not for everybody, so let me know what you think. My next ordre was fabric that you guys have not seen yet because I've not made a fabric haul. So this is Art Gallery Fabrics, and I picked this up from minerva.com, and yeah, jersey fabric. And look, it has butterflies, floral fabric, of course it's floral fabric, fabric with a floral design with bunny rabbits. Look, Michelle, I'm looking at you, girl. You gotta get you some of this. It's beautiful. It's so super soft, and it definitely had to hop into the cart and bounce its way over to me. Yeah, so the sleeve length on this ordre I made a little bit longer, like the stripe jersey fabric, and yeah, so pretty straightforward, guys. So I won't bore you with talking about what I did because I've already explained everything. So yeah, love the fabric. It's just, I love it. My fourth ordre is a little bit different. I kind of wanted to break the rules, of course, that's me. Why not? Bit more fun that way. And obviously the ordre you would think can only be made in stretch fabric, right? Nah, I wanted to give it a go in some different fabric and play around with the sizing, and yeah, which is what I did. I kind of kept the size as is, so it's a little bit snug on the bust area, which yeah, I can play around with perhaps the side seams next time and just size out a little bit. And then I was going to kind of configure how to then attach the neckband, because obviously you would stretch it as you would go along so it would fit. And I created a little detail there, so a little pleat going on there, just to a little bit of interest, and also so the neckband would then actually fit in the neck area. So all I did was pretty much exactly the same. So on the hem I just double folded, I ran a zigzag stitch along that as well, which I also did for the hem on both of the sleeves. Turned it round to the back, and yeah, for the back I did another little pleat there. It kind of works. Now this fabric is kind of just a little play around, wearable mock-up, and this is fabric that I had left over from my frugal frock that I recently made. And the annoying thing about this fabric was, I had mentioned about this before, but when you look at the raw edges and you've got the self edge, where the tender hooks go in, create the holes when they're obviously making the fabric at the factory, the holes from the tender hooks are actually several inches in, so you're actually losing quite a lot of fabric, which I kind of thought was a little bit disturbing. I mean, fabric is kind of you know, kind of expensive unless you're like me and you can kind of get it in sales and or pick it up at places that sell it inexpensively and or thrifting. So yeah, so on here on the neck you can clearly see where the tinder hooks go in, create those holes, and yeah, but that's okay because it's at the back, and you know, it is a wearable mock-up. This is just something to play around with. So yeah, I'm going to wear it, just wear it in the house. I have just pulled the fabric down over the hanger because I am now showing you the sleeve. So this is the top of the sleeve, and on both shoulder sleeves I also added in a little pleat detail there. It is only so then the neckband would actually fit in the neck area, and the little pin there is because I was thinking of putting a little brooch there instead of tying that, and yeah, I quite like that look. So again, you know, it's everybody's taste and what they like to do, and it's fun to play around with different things. Yeah, but overall this actually worked, and I'm really pleased that just playing around with different fabrics, yeah, do not always think that just because something says A, B or C, actually you could actually go D, E, F, G, H, I and so on and so on. Yeah, so it's always good fun, isn't it, to play around and kind of just, yeah, be a little bit edgy and see what you can come up with. So all really I need to do on this is just to make a couple amendments around the bust area, and it's good to go for making another one in a fabric that has zero stretch. Next up is a birder pattern, and this make is for TE, and also this is another one scratched off my make 9. Go me! So this is 7381, and show you the line art to be a little bit easier. So opted to go for the view here, and you can see the line there, and that is to kind of have shots that are not shorter shots, kind of a little bit longer. And in the end, actually these shots were long enough, so then the additional fabric did not need to be added on, which is a little bit annoying because I've actually cut it out, but does not matter because I can always use that fabric for something else. So yeah, stretch denim fabric, which was from Fabricland, and it's black, but it's not black, it's kind of like a dark charcoal black. You'll see what I mean. There we go. Yep, that's coming up pretty much true to colour. So like with the other makes, flip the camera around and show and tell and talk through about these shorts. Righto, so these are pretty much hard off the sewing machine, and made these yesterday, and I did kind of made a little bit of a basic mock-up because with birder patterns I am kind of a little bit of a rookie birder sewist, and I have made a birder pattern before which is an absolute disaster. Yes, I know, I still have to make a video for that, but yeah, this was actually a really easy make. Wow, I know, right? It was. And yeah, so coming down you can see it has two really good sized pockets, really deep for TE to put whatever TE puts in his pockets. Not much, to be fair. And it has a faux fly, and that was straightforward. And it also has a elastic waist, and yeah, inserting the pin through that to get the elastic through the channel, I opted. It was okay, but because the channel was very narrow, I actually decided after the first one, it took a few minutes to kind of push the pin through and then obviously pull the elastic through, so I used a crochet hook, got some Scotch tape, stuck that to the hook, and guess what? Of course, on the second channel it decided to ping off, didn't it? When I was almost had it inserted all the way through. But it was my bad because I did not stick the elastic enough on the hook. Anyway, it's all installed, inserted, and all sewn together. And yeah, he tried them on yesterday, really likes them, so I think there are going to be a few more in the making. Just flipped it round to the back. I will show you guys the inside. I did not put any back pockets on. I was going to, but TE said it was okay. Now the only thing is, the band did fit on the shorts, and when I actually attached it, I pinned half of it on, and then I was kind of, I guess I was getting a bit too confident, and I thought, oh, instead of pinning the other half, I just stretch as I go. And it kind of was working, but I guess I was not stretching it enough, and unfortunately the back seam band does not match level with the seam for the back pattern pieces there, or fabric. So it actually finishes there, that side. So what I did, I just stitched some lines there so it does not look askew, because it would look terrible otherwise, and it would look really off. So yeah, hence why that is like that. But let's just say it's a cool and happening little design feature, shall we? And flipped it around to the inside so you can see all the skeletal insides. So yeah, there is the faux fly, and yeah, serged throughout, and thankfully the fly was pretty straightforward. And I actually serged the raw edges before putting the pattern pieces together, hence why there are sergings on both sides of the raw edges. And yeah, there you go, there's the side seam, did exactly the same. Initially I was actually going to do some top stitching, so then it would have two lines going down either side, but then I kind of thought, no, it should be okay, that should lay flat enough and be comfortable. And then there's the hem there, so just serged, folded it over about 1 inch, and then just did a regular stitch length to hold that in place. Righto, now last one, it is a Butterick pattern, and it is this one here, B6760, and I made this view here, but what I did, I extended the shorts because I wanted to make longer pants, because I'm not really a shorts girl. I traced the pattern out on the tissue paper there, Swedish tracing paper. It's kind of not tissue paper, it's much thicker, and you can sew with it, and it's really good for fitting around the body. Yeah, so I also made this garment out of a stretch denim, so you can see it here, and it kind of has that little sort of charcoal mottly effect. And on the inside I used some lining. For the lining I used 100% cotton fabric. It's the sun, it's getting to me, sorry guys. Righto, so you know the drill, flip the camera around and show and tell. Righto, starting from the back on this pattern, purely because at the moment I have just tied the waist ties out the way, but they actually come around and form in the front and tie up. I have installed a regular zipper, it's a metal zipper, and I've just pinned it there so then you guys can see it a little bit better. Otherwise if I take the pin out, the back will kind of droop down because obviously there's nothing to support it. And yeah, my zipper's okay-ish, and on the back it has two darts, not the zipper, the pants. The only thing is I did stuff up on the facing, and for some strange reason I think when I installed the zipper I put it in a little bit too high, and therefore I kind of had to be a little bit imaginative and raise the facing up a little bit, so then it just gently comes down into a gliding curve and then level out as it goes around. And following down, so I kind of made these a crop length and then just used a regular stitch length for the hem, which is about 1 inch. Okay, still on the back I have untied the knot. Now it's crumpled, I know, maybe I should have pressed it. So the back of the bodice actually crosses over. I decided to use a contrast 100% cotton fabric, part because I did not have enough of the stitched denim, but also I wanted a contrast anyway. So yeah, that crosses over and then comes around to the front, and then you would tie that. So let's go around to the front. So the front is not too dissimilar to the back. It has that V shaping. The front has these seams that follow from the arm side through the bust area down to the waist. If I come out, you can see both there. And then there is the tie. I've just done a basic one flip over there. And I kind of think the red is quite a good contrast for the black denim. This pattern has pockets, and really good deep pockets to either side. And then yeah, if I just untie that, you can just see the pin there. That's just what's holding the back up. Yeah, so kind of like that design. Okay, so I have just flipped it inside out. So this is the lining. I have a flat lay photo of this when it's laid out, and it was fun kind of then having to pull it all the way around through so it all came out, and it worked. It was successful first time. Go me. You can see the tail there, and then following down from that we have the waistband. There are the 2 good size pockets. I love me to have a deep size pocket, which I don't really use pockets to put anything in apart from my hands. I don't know, strange. Or keys. And yeah, the hem is coming a little bit closer, and as always just folded it over after I serged it, regular stitch lengths. And then this is just the back. I have left the ties loose so they are just hanging down either side. Put the pin back in the waist there. You can see the zipper, complete mess really, but then you guys are used to that. Also, to stop the facing flipping out, I ditch stitched to hold that down all the way around, so obviously catching where the dart seam is and side seams. And we have an Emma. Righto guys, they are my recent makes. Let me know if you'd like to, if you have made any of these garments and how you got on and what fabrics that you used. And are you like me? Do you like kind of breaking the rules a little bit and playing around with something different? Also, just kind of wanted to quickly mention, so it's April 25th today and it's Anzac Day. Technically it's kind of past now because time zones are different, and yeah, so I always think of that anniversary every single year. And for those of you that are familiar, you guys know, but if you're not, maybe you'd like to check out history or behind Anzac. Okay guys, so that is it for this week, and Emma there. Poor little animals, they're really hard at the moment. Also just a quick update. I believe Mama Duck is nesting because she's been a little bit more sporadic visiting the yard. And yeah, I kind of only saw Mr. Duck a few times this morning, but just a few minutes ago I saw both Mama and Papa swimming around in the pool, so yay, which is fantastic because it's actually a really hot day today. Yes Emma, you're agreeing. And come on then, let me come down, come on then. Oh. Yeah, so see you guys for Friday shows, and yeah, hope you guys have a really good week. Stay safe, and thank you so much for stopping by. I'm gonna say see you. Take care guys.